touching the truth.
You are listening to the K Club here on KCC Live with me, Amber, and this week on the show I am joined by an incredible Korean-American artist and producer known by the name of SOUNDMAKER. Originally from Virginia, he's now currently in New York working on his original music and releasing it out into the world, and he's also just dropped a new music video which we are going to be talking about on the show today. SOUNDMAKER, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. How are you? How has this quarantine, COVID life been treating you for the past year and a half?
Hey, it's been good. How are you? I've
Yeah.
been just in New York. I've been just working on a lot of music. It was a lot of I guess self-reflecting and just like learning new aspects of life because I had so much time on my hands. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that on such a such a high level. So you are actually the first artist who is Korean American that I've had the pleasure of interviewing on the show, which is amazing because even though the show is mainly catered towards like K-pop and things, I'm very much open to playing like every kind of genre from like any Korean or any Korean American artists, and especially those who are just like starting out or aren't that well known in like other parts of the world. So I'm hoping that after this week, you're going to have a lot more fans from the UK, which would be awesome if you ever decide to come over here and do like a little tour or anything like that. Um,
Hey,
so as I say, you're originally from Virginia. You're an only child to a single father, and you were raised by your grandmother, which in itself must have been pretty hard growing up. But you actually got into music by learning jazz piano on YouTube. So please tell me a bit more about that and how that's had an influence on you at like such a young age, basically.
I was always just into like audio equipment when I was younger. Instead of buying shoes, I would buy like the latest mic or like the latest interface or something. And I always just had a knack for just making music. I was like kind of obsessed with it. I remember I downloaded FL Studio 8 or 9. I just started making beats, just random sounds and like all that. But I never really took it seriously. I just really enjoyed making music. And I picked up the keyboard, and one of my older homies used to be a producer way back in the day, and he used to be nasty with the keys. I always just wanted to, play piano really well, and like I would just try to learn different chord progressions on YouTube, just try out different things. And I don't know, it just got to the point where like I just had my own style of playing. I just I don't know. It's just like my therapy, I guess.
I think it's really cool that like it's been jazz music that influenced you a lot, like growing up, because not a lot of people would say that, I suppose. Is there any musicians that you would listen to growing up?
I wouldn't say growing up I was like inspired by jazz. I
Yeah,
kind of got into jazz a little later in my life. When I was like probably in college, I took my first jazz class because I was required to take, I guess, a creative class.
yeah.
But it was like this, I had this amazing jazz professor, and he just let me join without any previous experience. He was just kind of like, learn as much as you can. But that's when I started getting into jazz. But I think when I was growing up, I was like really into a lot of alternative music.
Nice.
Um, I listened to like the whole Lil Wayne era, the whole
Yeah.
Drake era. I'm just so inspired by different types of music. I don't really listen to just like one genre. I try to have an open ear for everything
Yeah.
and just take small pieces of inspiration from like different genres, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I'm the exact same actually. Like my music taste is so versatile, so it's quite interesting to hear that. So your Spotify artist page talks a little bit about some of the hard times that you've had to face, like growing up. Obviously, we don't have to go into too much detail. Just for anyone who's listening that might be curious, they're able to go and read it on your Spotify page. Um, But I always find it so fascinating to meet and see people who've went through a really hard time in life, but are now absolutely like thriving and just living the dream, killing it, trying to achieve everything that they've ever wanted to achieve. So I just wanted to ask you how those experiences that you went through have helped you, of course, like not only as a person, but as an artist, and how you feel as though it's helped your music evolve.
Um, that's deep. Uh, I'm not saying that I know like the answers or anything, but I'm still figuring things out right
Of
now. I'm
course.
still like learning how to, you know, move in this music field. I'm still learning like new, techniques. I just learned though, like the biggest thing I think I learned this past 2 years is just really about manifesting like what you really truly wanna do in life, I guess. I really self-reflected a lot on like why I want to do music, why I'm actually pursuing this career. I felt like super lost. I felt stuck in a loop. Everything that I was doing wasn't going according to plan. And I thought about it and I realized that because I was thinking like that, I was actually just putting my own self down, not really moving forward in life and really taking the steps to learn and actually grind for what I want to do. I was just consuming and like being lazy, I guess. And then I realized that everything is just about manifesting what you really want to do. I made a decision that I just wanted to inspire like the next generation of producers just like me, because I know how crazy hard it is to try to make a living off of music. I realized that like maybe my true goal is just to curate the culture and like help other Asian American artists to really realize their full potential. Cause I don't know. I feel like especially the Asian music world, there's only like K-pop stars and then there's not really anything else. People really perceive it as one dimension. But I don't know. I just want to be somebody that kind of breaks that stereotype. Like, hey, like there's other people out here, like super dope artists
Yeah.
that are doing it right now. And yeah,
Yeah, that's a great answer. And that is exactly why I love to have people like you on the show, because I really just want to expand that. And, I really want to bring forward a lot of artists just like yourself who are just like trying to, make a name for themselves and, break that, I suppose, stereotype as you say. So that's super dope. My next question is kind of just more like about how you met Peter, because obviously we were introduced through Peter Chun, who a lot of my listeners who are obviously fans of K-pop will know him through his work with YG Entertainment. He still works with like a lot of artists like Jesse, J Park and stuff. But how did you guys meet? And what kind of things have you been able to achieve and do since you guys have been like working together?
it's crazy because we met at the most random. I mean, not really random, but back in the day, Peter used to run these crazy parties in New York, and they were like wild. And I actually, when I was still living back in Virginia, I used to drive up to New York to party and just like meet people. I was young, and I remember that night specifically, he had a party at in Bowery, I think, near Chinatown. It was called Hive, but we were just spending mad money at the clubs, like buying bottles. I guess somebody was like, Peter, like, yo, you should go get to know these guys. They seem like pretty cool dudes. And that's how we met. We just met at the club and came up to me and we just started talking and like vibing. And he asked me what I did. And I like was trying to do music at that time. I didn't really know. I wasn't really confident in it, but I would just say like, yo, I'm trying to be a producer, a musician. And he actually just asked me to send him some beat packs and whatnot. And I sent him like so many beats, and he would send them out to other people. We actually got a record in with Jesse. It's not released yet right now, but I guess he's been kind of like my mentor throughout my whole journey, and he's been kind of, just being, I guess, right behind me and just supporting me. Yeah, just giving me the right advice, I guess.
That's awesome. So you just totally at the right place at the right time. I definitely think things happen for a reason, and I think that was like serendipity for you totally. Because like if you're
Yeah, that
not
was
from New York, you know, like you just went there to party and then like
yeah.
that happened. That's so cool. So let's talk about your most recent music video that dropped on June 13th for your track Wish Me Well, because I've watched it like way more than a few times now, and it's just totally not like anything I've ever seen before. I'd love to know more about the concept idea for that video, where that started. Because am I right in thinking that you're like a zombie in it? Maybe I got that wrong.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
no, so it was a very different music video for me and Brayden. Shout out to Brayden. He's my visual guy. He does all my videos. And with this project, I showed him the song and he was like, Young, like the song is so sad. You know, like we gotta really tell a story that really, you know, expresses this in the right way. And I had this one idea. I got inspired by this one Netflix show that involved this guy in college trying to pay for college through pimping out girls in that college. It was like a whole thing. And
Yeah,
I was like thinking about the concept of why a girl would stay with her pimp and that relationship between them, like that love. I don't know. I was just so intrigued by the idea of like fucked up love. Like on the outside, it just
yeah,
looks like fucked up and like, yeah, why would you do that? But on the inside, it's much deeper than that. There's so many emotions that are real. I just wanted to tap into that, I guess. I used kind of the first part of the video, Wish Me Well, is in the pimp's perspective. And the reason why I'm turning into a zombie is because like I wanted to show it in the most extreme way, but it was basically a way for me to kind of explain that I was dead inside and I was slowly like rotting away, like literally physically and like in the relationship, I was toxic.
that's
And
cool. It makes so much sense now thinking about it. Yeah.
yeah, so like if you see in the video, I'm like walking back towards our motel. I'm like throwing up like blood, all that stuff. What we were really trying to say was that that character was just fucked up all the time and like not good. The girl in the video always has the choice between leaving or staying. And I guess we showed it in the video that she chose to leave. And we showed that through her killing me, I guess, and running off into New York and just, you know, that's how we end it. But the second part of the video is called Wish You Well, and that's in the perspective of the girl.
Yeah, because it kind of like switches up like the song as well. Like it's kind of like slightly separate tones like the first one. I just found it like super interesting because like it's very rare to have that kind of like concept nowadays. But I really like,
Mm.
sorry, that was my cat jumping off my bed. I really like that you've kind of changed it up a little bit. Well, we are going to play that song on the show because I really want everyone to hear it. Anyone that hasn't yet checked it out, please go and check it out because it is super cool. It is 99.8 FM KCC Live, and we are back with Soundmaker having a lovely chat about his career. So, as you've been saying, you write and produce your own music, which is awesome. I'm personally a huge fan of Do It Again, which I know the music video for that was released not that long ago as well, right? So, we are going to be playing that on the show as well after the interview. But I just want to ask, who is your like number one inspiration, or who do you think has had the most influence on you as an artist and a producer? Like, whose music do you think you vibe with the most on like a creative level that's kind of like impacted you the most? I guess.
Mm. So I think like production wise, I always looked up to Kanye. Growing up,
I had a feeling you.
Kanye was yeah, like I would always listen to Kanye only because like he was always just trying new things and he wasn't afraid to kind of push the boundaries of music. But other rappers, I got really inspired by X when he first came out, XXX Tentacion.
Yeah.
And I just kind of got into like I don't know, I got really into like sad boy music, I think, for a little bit. Um I think I got a lot of inspiration from like Korean ballads to karaoke nights, just singing my soul out to like
Yeah.
보고 싶다. You know the song 보고 싶다 by Kim
Yeah,
Bong-soo?
yeah, I do actually, yeah.
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 Yeah, like I don't know. I just like Growing up, I think it was because like whenever I would be in my dad's car, he would always have some old school Korean sad boy music on. And I don't know, maybe I just got inspired by that. But it's crazy because lately, I haven't really been looking at these celebrities for inspiration. I've been looking at more of like my peers around me. One person that really inspires me is I guess my partner, AK to the Face. He's a rapper out here in New York. He's a Korean American artist too. But he and I make totally completely different music, but his work ethic and just how he moves and how he creates, it inspires me. It helps me like think outside the box and just keep trying to make fresh things, I guess.
So the next question that I want to ask is, what advice do you have for anyone who's like just starting out as a independent artist who isn't really sure like, you know, what route to take or like how to find their own sound? Maybe they're just like a producer starting out. What advice do
Mm,
you have?
man, that's so hard because there's so many things that I guess people don't know when they try to start out as an artist. I feel like not many people really tell you too. Not really people tell you the sauce. You know what I mean? Like they just want to either like take advantage of you, they don't care, or I think my biggest advice for anybody trying to do music is set where you want to go and just I'm not saying forget about everything else. Don't let other people decide what to do for you,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense. You gotta set what you want to do for yourself and kind of just build off that slowly because this is like a business where you're kind of really selling like yourself. Not that I'm saying like you're selling your soul or anything,
Yeah.
but like
Oh no.
it almost is kind of because it's not a physical product or anything. Literally, you're selling music and it goes much deeper than like, you know, doing the little things. It's like you gotta really know how to market your music, know how to move, know the business behind doing your first shows, and like you just build on top of that. And
Sure.
I think my number one advice is don't let other people. Nobody else will see your dreams the same way that you see your own dreams. What I mean by that is that don't wait on other people. Don't feel like you're stuck because you can't do this or that. Literally just take it one step at a time. If you keep on doing that over the years, you'll look back and actually realize that you come a little bit, even though it's just like here in your long-term goal, you're still moving at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to think it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? And I think that's what's most important. So that's another great answer. Thank you so much. So, my last question is mainly just about you and what plans you have for the rest of the year. Obviously, there's been a lot of restrictions, especially here in England. Like a lot of the live music venues have been closed. So, everything's kind of been on hold for a while. But I just want to know what plans you have as an artist or as a producer for the rest of the year, and where can people find you on social media to keep in the loop, all of those kinds of things?
You could follow me on Instagram. I'm Soundmaker. I am and then Soundmaker. Um, that's my YouTube, Facebook, everything. But I guess for the rest of my plans, one goal I really set for myself this year is to drop like either a single or some music video, some visualizer every month, just to keep my pages more active because I feel like I've been slacking on that. Um, but other than that, I've been really working on my fourth album right now. It's called Solfeggio. But yeah, I've been working on this project for like the past 9 months, and I have 15 songs on it that I've been just trying to perfect. I think my next plans is just to collaborate with more people and like hopefully get more bigger placements and just keep grinding, I guess.
Thank you so so much for all of your answers. Like they've been super cool, super informative. Listen, thank you so much for coming on the show as well. And you are welcome back here anytime. It's a pleasure to have you anytime. And anytime that you've got new music or any new videos, please let us know. We'll share it on like the social media, on the website, play everything on the show. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.